Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nintendo Expansion Pass here on Watchfish Network. I'm your host, the Night Excited NV. Joining me is the one, the only Bossman himself, Mr. Corey Dirrig. Hello, good sir. Yes.
Hey Ed, I have to adjust the template to this show's thumbnails now because we're in the triple digits, and the template I made does not hold triple digits because I'm an idiot. So hi,
happy 100 episodes. Yes, everybody, we made it to 100. Corey.
Yeah, 100 episodes of this show. We've done way too many shows together. Ed, you know when 400 of Pow Block comes around, we're just gonna have to retire. We're just gonna have to be done because we can't do it anymore.
That Switch 2 will be out by the time we get to 400. Or not?
I don't think so. It's only 3 months away.
But that's around Summer Game Fest almost.
Nintendo's not announcing anything at Summer Game Fest.
I know, but
Nintendo's just gonna randomly put a trailer out at 3 o'clock in the morning, and everybody's gonna freak out.
And then we're gonna be up at Corey. Can we record like 15 minutes of a discussion? Why is it 4 hours and 59?
When has anything we've ever done been 15 minutes, Ed? Okay, I've tried with the direct recap show to say this needs to be 15 or 20 minutes, and then it's an hour and a half. So,
True.
Just saying.
Well, Corey, I'm just super excited. You said some news, and everybody, just wait till the future. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just super happy. The news that you shared.
I'm excited for the guests we have lined up coming up. Because we've met a lot of people at PAX, obviously, but
yes,
there's a lot of cool guests coming up, and if you're on Patreon, there you'll hear the guest this week. But it's I don't know. I think we met a lot of cool people. I'm trying to get a lot of people scheduled, and I'm trying to space them out because we obviously can't do 37 podcasts in 1 week. But
right,
It's been fun. It's been great meeting some cool people and getting some opportunities. It's been awesome. I have a pep in my step, as they say, from this week.
Yes.
So, which was a little different than last week on Pow Block because I was dying inside.
I invited Matt Storm to Power Block, and he said let's do it. So we got to find a date for him. He said he'll be free mid-April to May.
Pronouns them.
Them.
They, them.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Matt.
Now they're not going to want to come on because you're offensive.
They are.
You offended
are
me.
A great person. So So, yeah, we're gonna have them on Power Block in the future. I am trying to get Andre.
Dude, Andre, man, he's got some cool stuff on YouTube recently. I don't know if you've watched it recently, but
I know he started
counts going up. It's skyrocketing, man.
Yeah, I know he said this is what I'm doing now. So I gotta see what he's doing. Yeah. I don't know if he did a rebrand or a refresh or anything.
Well, he was just doing shorts and Instagram reels, right? But he's starting to do longer form content now, which is pretty good. So he's not rebranding, quote unquote, but he's trying some new content and it's working. So shout out to Andre. I miss Andre. He's one of them people that I wish was here every week, but I know he's just obviously he's busy and the time zone difference is big for him. And
yeah,
I know he's got a kid, so that takes up a lot of time.
He's truly amazing.
Yeah,
and I know I only really got the podcast with them once and everything, but he is truly amazing. Also, shout out to Wes.
Shout out to everybody.
Yes. So uh, yeah, that we're trying to do stuff big, everybody. I think because of PAX energizing,
Yeah.
socializing, and uh, just I don't know, just something about PAX East just did something for not only Boss Rush, but kind of for Power Block too, in a sense.
Yeah, I mean it's been a real interesting couple weeks after PAX. I guess like a month now.
Yeah,
And well, has it been a month? No, it's been like 3 weeks. Jeez, gosh, where time just it goes so fast and so slow at the same time.
yes,
Um, yeah, and I mean, I'm really excited to do stuff with people that we met there. I'm like, you know, obviously big. I'm a big Destiny person, right? And I might be appearing on some Destiny podcasts soon. I might be doing some other things with like Guardians Mental Health is a big organization that mental health organization that
hmm
I'm and interviewing Joe soon, which will be up in May for Mental Health Awareness Month. So that'll be that, and I'm just there's a lot of great people out there, and we don't I think we get so caught up in what we're doing as
yeah,
individuals that we forget that we affect real people and real people affect us. And people actually listen and do things also, right? I mean, how many times were we stopped at PAX and I'm just like, "Oh, I guess we you know, not to like toot our own horns or anything, but people recognize us and you just kind of forget that people recognize you because they enjoy your content." And
hmm
it was special, and like seeing developers recognize us from website stuff and talking about them on the podcasts. And obviously the writing team has done a great job of getting the indie scene
yeah,
us noticed by the indie scene. And um, there's a lot of great people out there, and I hope to continue to make these connections, right? I've talking to Ben from Midwest Games. Hopefully, we'll have a spotlight with him before Midwest Games blows up and becomes super popular. I want to get in there. I want to get in there before, you know, uh,
yeah,
because obviously we had um, Chris on from Guiley Games who doing Rah Rah Boom, and uh, they have a new podcast coming out, by the way, the
all
Guiley
right,
Gang, about the development of the game. So that's super awesome. I'm very excited to listen to that. So Chris is
me
awesome.
too. Yeah.
Guiley Games, I kind of want to go check out their studio. It's only like 3 hours from here. I mean,
Oh,
only
cool.
quote unquote, but I can drive there, right, and make a day out of it and come home. But uh, if I mean that they would have to invite me. Obviously, I can't just walk up to their office and knock on their door. But
Yeah, that's kind of me with Joystick Venture, and I gotta get with them and like get their developers um on the spotlight and talk about their games. Sorry everybody that we're still talking about PAX, but it's just
I'm
it,
not
it, it
sorry. PAX was important for us. Like it was.
it really
There's a lot of
is.
cool
Yeah.
things at PAX. There's a lot of important things that happened for us at PAX, and it's going to make the things that we did at PAX is going to make our shows better. It's going to make Powbach better. It's going to make
hmm
Boss Rush better. I mean, it's going to make After Dark better with all the mental health organizations we met, and uh, other non gaming related people that we have connected with. I'll let LeRon kind of handle that aspect of it, but we've it's made everything better. And so yes, we're still talking about PAX because especially Ed and I mean, Ed, you and I have been doing this for so long, I mean, you with
Yeah.
Optional Opinion have been doing it longer than I have, but like, I mean, we've been doing this, not this, but something like this for 10 years, man. 10 years. and we like. I mean, I know it's exciting for everyone, and I know, like David and Stephanie and Laurent and the writing team and the copy editors and everybody have put a lot of hard work into this, and I know everybody's like super excited, but like for you and I think it hits a little bit different because we've been trying for so long to find our not our audience, because we've always had a listenership, but like
Mm-hmm.
our space where, and our people, I guess you would say, and um the community we've built and the community that follows us, and it's I don't know, I think it just hits us different because we've I mean, this has been our baby for 5 years, 4.5 years at this point. And
Yeah.
I mean, the 5 year anniversary of the Boss Rush podcast is in May. So, um, and then, this is, I don't know, man. I went back and was looking at older episodes of this and trying to figure out, in 2016 we started this and this show. Um, so that's, I don't know, man. It's a lot.
It's
It's a lot. And so PAX was kind of like the moment where, I mean, you and I were sitting there on the last day, just kind of like hanging out and kind of getting emotional about it. We made it. Like we finally made it.
yeah.
Like we finally made it, and it felt really good to sit there with everybody and be like, man, we did something. You know.
Right.
So, and
Because
something that affects
it
people.
was like I said, we had our personal talk and everything, and I was just like, it just pushed me to be out of my comfort zone. Going out to meet new people, going out to socialize, um, all of these interviews, trying to make people have fun, like that takes courage, and making because it's just like what I did on Option Opinion was my like own podcasting skill. And I just had to grow from that. And then when me and you got together for Power Block and just all the podcasting stuff that we did, it was such a learning experience. And now just going to PAX and playing games and interviewing and writing and having these discussions, it was something that I thought I would never get to do as much, and everybody knows as much as I love video games. All the EGMs and game pros I brought and read, or my mom brought for me and I read them. Uh the one ups, all the blogs, it's just like putting my hobby like equated to my livelihood, like about video games, all of those years just coming, you know, taking all of that to PAX and just being able to, meet Ben Starr, meet Roger from Gamerheads, meet Level One Crew,
Yeah.
meet the Iron
Roger
Lords,
Roger's
and
Roger's awesome. Like I know we were like messing around with him and saying he
yes,
was like our adoptive son for the entire show, but Roger's awesome. Oh man,
he pretty much
having him
is.
hang out with us. Yeah, I know. I mean, like, look, if I mean we I kind of was like talking to him while we were there, and I was like, man, if Gamerheads ever goes down, we have a third chair on Pow Block to like, you can just jump right
Right.
in if you want to, you know. No questions asked. Roger is welcome here. Although he'll
Yes.
find 75 other podcasts to be friends with. Roger. I did call him Pat on
uh,
accident at one point.
oh,
Yeah,
but
I didn't mean to because
it's just
Pat was like sitting over here and Roger was sitting over here,
uh-huh.
and like we were talking and Pat said something and then Roger said something, but I was still listening to Pat. You know how like when you're listening to somebody and then somebody over here talks to you and like your mind's still on this person, so you call them
Yeah.
that person's name.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
continue.
It's
Sorry.
it's just yeah. Yeah, yeah, just coming back from PAX and just everything about PAX. Um just made me definitely it's a learning experience, and it definitely makes me want to continue to do this, to go out in interviews, like handing out the business cards and things like that. Like that stuff was cool. Like
Hmm.
I actually got to socialize, and I got to uh make connections and stuff. It's in everything. It's just and not feel it just and walk away from all the discussions, like hopefully everybody, those people that I interviewed and I talked to, had fun. And the reason why I say Nintendo, why this helps Pop Lock and even Nintendo Expansion Pass, is because all the indie games and everything that I saw and played, like people were hoping to get their games in a Nintendo Indie Direct or a Nintendo Direct, or even get it to Switch, or Switch
Also,
2 in the
yeah, they
future
gave
or
us a lot to talk
whatever.
about
Like
Switch 2. Let's be honest. They switched the secret about Switch 2 is not a secret when you are around developers. I'm not going to name any studios. I'm not going to name any people, but we met people who have Switch 2 development kits, and they were totally planning on having them like Switch 2 units there because apparently it was supposed to launch this March, and like that's what the Nintendo booth there was supposed to be, was like a big showcase for Switch
mhm.
2, and then they just turned it into this come play our old Pokemon games, even though there's a big Pokemon booth over there and then one all the way over there. God, Pokemon, man.
uh,
anyways, anyways, man,
yes,
my internet is so crummy today.
yeah, it's well, so but I oh
I'm here.
hi okay
Sorry, it
uh
was my my internet was on the wrong connection. That's why it was so crummy. So
okay.
sorry, everybody. I had a little bloop, a little blip, bloop, bloop, you know. So, but we're back. We're back.
Well, and I actually do have a topic, everybody.
Oh, I thought
um
we were just gonna reminisce about stuff.
well, it's I we can uh but I kind of was just I get in my head and I talk to myself a lot, sometimes at work, which ends up creating
Wait, did you say you talked
interesting
to yourself?
discussions. Yeah, I talk to
Oh,
myself. Um because
that explains a lot.
you know what? uh no, I actually, so I was thinking about this, and it's kind of like about Switch 2, and it was about Nintendo giving people what they want, giving them the bells and whistles, the high definition, the frame rate, all of this stuff. Um, being portable and everything, backlog, games that backwards compatible, not backlog, backwards compatibility, region free, uh it can run all the games and everything. And I kind of was just like, that's so funny that people want all of these things, even like trophies, achievements, and all of that stuff. People want all of these things, but they don't, you know, but they don't support it in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of got to me. It got me thinking that even if Nintendo and their console or their next platform, even if it gave third-party developers everything that they asked for. It gave gamers everything they always wanted from Nintendo. High end, just giving them, regardless of price. Certain players still wouldn't support it. And what I mean by not supporting it is that just like PlayStation and Xbox, and yes, I'm making this connection, is that they give everybody the bells and whistles, but people are not going out and supporting it.
Yeah.
And this leads to developers having to lay off people, um, publishers having to lay off people or close the studios and stuff. And it got me thinking. It just got me thinking if Nintendo did the same thing and provided all of this, is there a fear that there still wouldn't be support on an equal basis? All three platforms and even PC don't have people or gamers going out supporting these projects.
Um, I mean, so you could look at the Switch 2 in a lot of ways, and these developers in a lot of ways. I think a lot of AAA I think a lot of developers are actually kind of pissed at Nintendo for delaying the console because
Mm-hmm.
we all know that Nintendo, whoever's at the top, right? Nintendo is a place for Nintendo games first and foremost, right? Where I think you can
Yes.
you can look at Xbox and PlayStation and kind of say first party games are a reason to buy the console, but they're not always the reason, right? You look at Madden and Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto and NBA 2K, and these are all games that are available everywhere, right? And
Yes.
so you look at Nintendo, and Nintendo's always been like this, and they're like, this is the place you come to play Nintendo games, and everything else is extra, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Nintendo obviously delayed the Switch 2 so they could polish up their first party lineup, right? For the year. And Ubisoft was supposed to have something for them. A lot of indies were supposed to have games for them, and we heard from indie developers at PAX that they were ready for Switch. They had already been, you know, shoot, what do you call it when optimizing things for Switch, and then they got the Switch 2 dev kits, and then they started developing for that, and now they have to like re-optimize it for the original console just to get their game out. And not that that's like a huge deal, right? Because that work had
Right.
already been put in for them, but like they were excited to have a little bit more wiggle room for power and optimization, and um and I think that's going to hurt some third party support, or not support, but third party bottom lines were counting on this holiday to have games on that console, and that's a console that they can't put games out now until next year. And I mean, ultimately Nintendo, we've talked about it before, Nintendo is definitely more conservative than with this leadership than they have been, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this is an iteration on a console that we haven't seen in a while, right? Like it's more along the lines of their handheld market than their home console market, right? Because like obviously Super Nintendo different from N64, different from GameCube, different from Wii and Wii U and Switch, right? These like there's very few connective points between these consoles in terms of like look and feel and controllers and all that kind of stuff. Whereas people were calling it the Switch 2 at PAX, like straight up the Switch 2. And now I don't know. Obviously, we ultimately don't know if that's what it's going to be called, but you know, uh, when your dev kit just has the same code 2 as the first one, right? Like it's pretty much confirmed that it's going to be a similar console. So you look at that and with a little bit more power, and Nintendo ultimately just wants to be the place where people come for Nintendo games. And obviously the indie scene has blown up, and the indies want to be there at launch.
Mm-hmm.
And third party will be hit or miss forever for Nintendo. But I think the room. What I heard a lot of developers say at PAX is that this the power of the Switch 2 is somewhere between the PS4 and the PS4 Pro, somewhere in that realm, right? Which is exciting because maybe we'll finally get a Zelda that looks like Horizon, but I doubt it because it's Nintendo. But I can dream, or maybe the Wii U tech demo at the very least. But I don't know, Ed. What are you thinking? I kind of rambled a little bit,
No,
maybe
no,
off topic.
no. I think the thing about it is that gamers, there's a history with Switch and gamers, ideal of the system versus their support of the system. And the ideal of the system that it was going to be, they weren't going to have the games. It wasn't going to sell well. They should have went third party. They should put their stuff on PC. Like the ideal of the Switch, just when it first started, was it's a failure. It's Nintendo. It's going to be for kids. It's going to fail, fail, fail. But Switch changed. Switch kind of saved the gaming industry. It changed the perspective on how we play games. It made a lot of indies and third party developers not famous, but have a stay in business and become recognizable about games. Um a lot of them, of course, we talk about the double dipping and everything, and it just had a fire library from all around. From first, from third, from indies, second party, um, and so it even led to PC like Valve and other PC developers and studios and publishers trying to make their own handheld system for cloud gaming. And um even the PlayStation Portal, it is something because of the success of Switch. And it's just like all of these all of these failures that people were hoping for a Switch to happen, it never did. In fact, the Switch continued to provide success over and over again. And so, with seeing the success of the system, you would think that the more powerful systems uh will take the reins over from Nintendo and get those hardcore gamers or adults or mature audience or whatever who want a better system, even some PC players who want a better experience, come to their platform, go to these platforms and get the biggest name games from third party, play the greatest graphics and everything. And it seems that with these powerful consoles and PC stuff out, they're not they're not, gamers are not supporting them and get and see, after they were talking about the potential and stuff they could get. And it's probably confusing to a lot of people on why is this underpowered system still being successful. And if Nintendo does give us the bells and whistles, and it ends up do getting us the support, just like the Switch was, and even more, it's going to confuse gamers. You know, like Xbox Series X and S should have a abundance of console sales. PlayStation 5 should have a abundance of console sales. Third party and some of the first party games should have a abundance in sales, regardless of it's physical or digital, because of all the stuff that these gamers or certain gamers have. Of they still got the idea that Nintendo is still kiddie, then there's there's too many sales from a lot of adults showing you that they must be kids. Because it, it's just like, well, if Nintendo got the support from everybody and Nintendo does give the bells and whistles, will that support die off? Because now Nintendo is like the other consoles, and those other consoles are not getting the support.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I it's hard because like sometimes I'm just like I don't care if Nintendo gets support. I'm here for Nintendo games, right? But then
Hmm.
other times I'm like, man, I if Nintendo had the games that I I love, I wouldn't have any other console, right? Like, we for some dumb reason early on, we were talking about if Destiny would ever come to Wii U, right? We had that discussion on an
Yeah,
episode of Pow Block, and that was not a good discussion to have. Don't go listen to it. Um,
it's an
but like, I
interesting
mean,
discussion, I will say.
if Destiny was on a Nintendo console, Nintendo's online could handle something like that, then yeah, I would be playing it there. It would be awesome. I want a handheld Destiny experience, which is why I'm really hoping that this handheld Xbox is real. Um, but at the same time, it's like, well, Nintendo has already has always given us a reason to temper our expectations on games that aren't Nintendo
Hmm.
branded, right? Like we have some great ports on the Switch, right? Doom, The Witcher, Near Automata, the Trail series, Final Fantasy, like all those ports are great. But then you have really, really bad ones like Mortal Kombat is very not good. Um, what are some other ports that are pretty bad? It, it, but you know what I mean. Like Nintendo has tempered our expectations, and it's up to third parties to put in the work. And at the end of the day, these are businesses, and they don't want to put in the work that's not worth it, and that's fine. I get it. From a business standpoint, I get it. The indies are thriving, and so Switch has become home to indies and Nintendo Switch and Nintendo games, and that's totally okay with me. Um, I
So,
think what
so why does the success frustrate people so much? Why are
what
they hating
what
that?
success?
Huh?
Whose success?
It's Nintendo success. Why is it
Who's
frustrating?
hating on it?
A lot of people are hating on it. They,
Why? I
should
haven't
say,
seen that.
let me rephrase that. People who wanted the Nintendo Switch to fail and everything, they still have an idea that the
Well, these are
Nintendo
just
Switch
these
is
are
not
just
for
annoying
them.
console warriors. Nobody cares about them. Only losers care about what they think. Like dude, I heard this on a podcast the other day, and it's really like made my Twitter feed a whole lot better. And it's all the console warriors. It doesn't matter what side you're on, if you agree with them or not. Just mute them. Just mute them. And guess what? My Twitter feed has become so much better. I actually unfollowed like almost 200 people today. It was very nice. Uh, because I just don't not that like I care to follow people or not. I just
Mhm.
like some people have gotten really annoying, we'll say, and it's just I don't want to follow you anymore. I don't care if you follow me or not, but like it just and cleaning up my Twitter feed. Twitter actually isn't that bad if you mute the annoying people and just don't follow the other people. It's actually not terrible. I've actually had a lot of great interactions on Twitter in the last couple weeks because of that. And um, it's just like, man, awesome. Can't I love interacting with people now. uh because like there's that long time where I just put everything through the automated system that we use, right? And I'm just like, I'm just gonna let it go out. And if people comment on it, they comment on it. If not, then I don't care. I'm just not gonna, you know. Uh but I think people that hate on Nintendo, it's always the popular kid that gets hated on, right? Because they're popular, right? And I think it's part jealousy, part I don't know what to do with this because people are excited for it and I hate that I'm not excited for it, so I'm just gonna poo poo on their parade. Or and I've really, over the last, I would say 3 or 4 years, I've really tried to be cognizant of um not saying negative things when I feel some sort of, I guess jealousy of something, right? But
Mhm.
like mostly like, oh well, that's popular and I don't care about it, so I'm not going to sit here and trash it. And I think overall we've all done a pretty decent job of doing that, right? And it's actually been a pretty net positive, A, for us mentally, but also B, like meeting like-minded people and getting opportunities like going to PAX and meeting people and guesting on shows and having guests and stuff like that, right? So,
Yes.
um, I think the people that hate on Nintendo just, you know what? More power to you if you have the energy to do that. I don't have the energy for you. That's all I have to say. I don't have
Well,
energy, period. So I'm
it's
not going to waste what I have on you.
because it just feels like with some gamers that regardless of what Nintendo does, success or failure, it's always just a dismissal to them. And I think that's why I asked the question of, even if Nintendo gave people the bells and whistles, will they support them and everything? Because like I mentioned, like when I mean Nintendo changed the industry, it changed the industry. Like and people cannot deny it or anything. If Xbox was doing this, we will all be talking positive about Xbox. But Xbox could go do some rough
No, I
patches
think
and
I
still
think
have some positive
I,
talks about them.
I think I think Xbox just has a lot of negativity around it in general because
Mhm.
A, people like to hate on Xbox because it's Microsoft, right? And they're the biggest company in the world, but also like I still feel like people think that Xbox is, they their messaging hasn't been great. They haven't had a lot of things to be positive about until very recently. Um and I think, I mean, look at how people were trashing Microsoft's first party, and now that those games are heading to PlayStation, like Sea of Thieves is the number one and number five most pre-ordered game on the PlayStation Store right now.
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush has sold a ton of copies. Pentiment is getting has a higher Metacritic score on PlayStation than it does on Xbox somehow. Um, don't ask me why. I don't know how that works. Uh, but like people are buying Xbox games, and it's like, yes, the people who have been playing Xbox are like, yes, we've been experiencing this for years, like for a long time. Yes, it's been more sporadic and the quality has been not as consistent as PlayStation's games, but we've been playing these games for a long time. I mean, like Sunset Overdrive and Quantum Break, and I mean, even Recore was doing interesting things, and Halo and Gears are always awesome, and like Hellblade 2 looks awesome, which I mean, it's getting glowing previews and glowing.
Yeah.
Digital Foundry did a glowing video on the Xbox Series X version. Uh, Locked 30. I know a lot of people are upset about that, but whatever. You'll get over it. Uh, So, yeah, I don't know. I just think the popular kid on the block is going to get the hate. And whenever somebody tries to do something that's exciting, people like to hate on them because it's different and new. And, uh, people like to hate on Xbox because of Game Pass instead of embracing Game Pass as a service. And it's like, I get it. I get both sides of the argument. I'm a Game Pass subscriber, but I also buy the games that I'm excited for. I mean, I'm
Right.
not like one or the other. Um,
I
so
I
yeah,
I
I
root
mean,
for
that's
Game
where I'm at.
Pass. I root for Game Pass, but I prefer buying my games.
I
So.
mean, I I mean, I actually have my mind has changed on Game Pass quite a bit over the last year or so.
Hmm.
I'm still a subscriber because if you're a consumer, why don't you, and you like to play video games, why don't you have Game Pass, right? It like as a general consumer, and I'm not talking about you and me. I'm talking about somebody who enjoys games and doesn't have a lot of money. Why wouldn't you subscribe to Game Pass, right? Like
Yes.
it's an amazing service for somebody who is pinching pennies and likes to play games, and there's a lot of games on that service.
Yes.
But we've seen the negative effects of these subscription services over the last couple years, specifically Game Pass, where people just aren't buying games on Xbox to the point where publishers are skipping the Xbox, and Microsoft has to make special deals with them to get games over there, right?
Hmm.
Um, Yakuza. Everybody loves Yakuza on Xbox. Microsoft had to pay to get those over here,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Sega was not putting those on Xbox or Atlas,
Mm-mm.
the Atlas games, right? Sarah Bond had a huge hand in getting Atlas games on not just Game Pass, but on Xbox in general.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, Xbox has a lot to deal with other than just messaging. I mean, like I've said before, and I'm sure people have heard this on other podcasts because this is where I heard this term on another podcast. But like during the Xbox One, when they were losing, like really losing, and Xbox almost ceased to exist, right? Um, they had to they had to launch Game Pass, and then they had to put first party games on Game Pass because they were losing, and they had to change the rules of the game because they were losing the game with the rules that were dealt.
Yeah.
And Game Pass was a big boon for them in the short term,
Hmm.
but in the mid to long term, it's actually hindering the I don't want to say it's hindering their business because they're bringing in more revenue than ever. Their profits are high. Like the Xbox business is doing better than it's ever has financially, but
Yeah.
people are not buying games on Xbox um the way they are on PlayStation and Nintendo. And that's really hurting them. And that's why they're trying to expand the business. That's why they're putting first party games on PlayStation and Switch, right? And um that's why they're trying to figure out what their next piece of hardware is going to be like. Are they going to integrate a PC type setting into the Xbox? Are they going to integrate are they it's is the next Xbox going to be a set top box PC that you can boot into an Xbox mode? Is Are they going to have a handheld that competes with Nintendo? Like there's a lot of questions, right?
Yeah.
And I actually think a powerful handheld along the lines of like a Steam Deck would be very beneficial to Xbox. Like, you know, I mean, it's the same as the Switch. Like your library goes with you, or you can play it on the TV. It's just
Right.
you have to buy a separate piece of hardware for it. But um, I actually think that would be really beneficial to Xbox and probably give it a big boon. Um, because if you can take your games with you or your Game Pass with you or play on the couch while you're watching TV or something like that would be a huge um, that's why I want some sort of handheld. And that's why I almost bought the ROG Ally so I could play Game Pass games on the couch or Destiny on the couch. And I didn't because it's so expensive, and I don't like like I went to Best Buy and tried to like play with one, and the experience is just really if you're not a PC person, and like I'm not a PC person. First of all, I'm not even a Windows person. I record everything on a Mac. I edit everything on a Mac. I play Roller Coaster Tycoon on a Mac. stream games through a Mac. It's an awful experience, but I don't like I mean, a Mac isn't an awful experience. Streaming in particular through Mac's interface is bad. Uh, but I just prefer Apple over Windows, and trying to
and not
navigate
vice versa.
a handheld version of Windows when you're not even used to the operating system on a 32-inch screen, let alone a 7-inch screen, like just made me want to just like chuck it across the store.
but I think like looking at this from a Nintendo perspective is that I'm I'm happy to support Nintendo God. Like Nintendo don't need all the biggest third party and stuff. Um and I think we talked about this, or I may have argued this point, is that a lot of the Western third party that is not on Nintendo, a lot of people are just not supporting, even with Game Pass. And so it's kind of amazing to see just from Nintendo, and hopefully with Switch 2, is that people companies who are not under Microsoft, I would say that, put their games out on Nintendo and give it some love. Or create IPs or new IPs that is for that console that can still hit different communities and everything. Like Nintendo can provide. Nintendo is, I feel like it's the place to create new IPs and try things out, because the stereotype of Nintendo just for kids, that doesn't. I'm not saying that it doesn't do it justice. It's lazy and it's not true. Like it that Nintendo has games for everybody. And if you think I'm kidding, a lot of the sales, not even just from first party, I'm talking about just from everywhere, and every rating has been successful.
I wouldn't call it lazy. I don't think anyone's
I
lazy.
literally think it's completely lazy, because the thing about it is you're calling it kitty and stuff, but are you calling it kitty because that's your only opinion about it? Because
Who said that? Who says that?
a lot, I think some of the hardcore players X on Xbox and PlayStation thinking that it's still a kitty system, and it's like it really isn't. It's just, I think it's just like people won't give Nintendo its props when it's due, because they are being successful, and they're doing it without having the games um that people um they're being successful because, of course, of first party, but they are being successful with first party. I mean, with indie games and with third party. They just don't have the third party like Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto. But Switch is able to prove that they're successful without having that. And so people won't give it its props and stuff when they see, like, well, it is a kiddie system because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold 79 million copies. Okay, that's Mario Kart. It's an E for everybody. You can't just generalize it for kids and stuff. When Persona 3 came out, uh for everything, wasn't everybody saying, I'm waiting for this to be on Switch? you know it's just, it kind of, and I think, hopefully when Switch 2 comes out, or whatever they name their next console, I hope the generalization that it's just a kiddie system and it doesn't give you the bells and whistles, that it be dismissive and doesn't get the support. I think people should just like, oh, Switch 2 or Nintendo's next console. Oh, that's cool. They're bringing out some interesting games. And if it's not your cup of tea, fine, it's not your cup of tea, but I hope that you respect the people who do pick up that system and who do enjoy it and want to support it. Because if it's not getting your support or anything, I sometimes feel like, and when I get in my feelings and get upset about stuff, I sometimes feel like don't judge it if you're not going to support it or give it a try. And if you are going to judge it when it's a whole bunch of adults buying the game and showing that they're enjoying it, don't judge them of being kiddie or anything.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't have a response to that. I don't. I was having a good time, and then you got real angry, and now I'm concerned. Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Who hurt you?
Nobody. No, I just hope that because the thing about it is that when some systems, the way that these systems are not meeting expectations and stuff, and Nintendo is surpassing expectations, it it literally feels weird from certain the communities and from certain gamers when they voice their opinion about Nintendo and everything. And and you can and when you voice that opinion, sometimes it feels like you denying that they are successful and they are stronger, and you don't want to give them that win. You don't want to say have that opinion or have the not opinion. Give them the fact that man, Nintendo is killing it, and leave it at that. Because
Mm.
uh, because Series X and PlayStation 5 are giving you guys the bells, and PC is giving you guys the bells and whistles, and those systems are not doing well, are not meeting expectations with these games that are coming out. And I'm not talking about, well, a little bit sales wise, but they're not meeting the expectations that gamers should, that gamers have. Because a Paper Mario Thousand Year Door does game busters, and a
I mean,
Valve
yeah.
does it, or Stellar Blade does it, that just literally shows you that you can't go out there and say, oh, just because that's a Nintendo game, it's the reason why. It's no, you got the stuff that give you the bells and whistles, so why are you not supporting the bells and whistles and judging Nintendo because they put out a first party game from the GameCube days?
And I feel like you have some pent up energy here. I feel like you need to. I don't know. I feel like somebody hurt you and you're not sharing.
No, Corey, these are
I thought it was
the
a
arguments
little
that
bit.
I have in my head sometimes.
Apparently, because you're just. I'm scared now. I'm concerned about you. Oh,
So,
anyways.
and I think that's why PAX was the games that we
Oh
play
god.
at PAX was just like, oh, this is so good, so fresh, so amazing.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I'm scared now.
Well, should we wrap up?
Yeah, because I don't know if I can handle another angry rant about I don't know what just happened.
Well, everybody, I am Carl. It's our 100th
I'm
episode.
calm. Just
Uh,
calm.
we
Simple.
still have to do our Switch top 10. Uh, one,
Yeah, we'll get there.
yes.
We'll get
Uh,
there. I just yeah, we gotta work through your schedule first, man. This is
yeah.
I'm we should probably just prepare people that expansion pass might be skipped a couple weeks, maybe. because of scheduling. So, not that I want to miss any weeks of this show.
Yeah.
And if we have to get guests on, then we will get guests on. But like, just, I like having it every week. I think it adds to our content list very nicely. But with scheduling and everything, we have to figure that out. So.
Yeah, it literally has been weeks since we did the expansion pass.
I know we're on our last one for Patreon tomorrow as of this recording. So we had to record this one.
Yeah.
But I mean, we should record one on Sunday after Pow Block as well, because we'll probably have time. There's not a lot of news in Nintendo, so
yeah, like I said, the NSO with those 3 games, that's kind of like the biggest one. I also got to watch the Triple I, the direct.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I don't care.
Yeah, I completely missed it. But I do want to see it. I do want to watch it. Just to see what the announcements were and how it went and everything. But with that, everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Celebrate 100 episodes of Nintendo Expansion Pass with us, and let us know, what is your Nintendo Switch game of all time?
Oh, jeez.
Just one game. What could it be? With that, everybody, we'll see you next time on Nintendo Expansion Pass. Bye, everybody.
Bye. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.